Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with the most important question on Reddit. Am I the bunghole? Let's dig in to see what's up. Oh, I got a transition. Alright. Am I the bunghole for snapping at the receptionist who was just doing her job? I'll hold my questions or my comments till the end. Hi everyone. A quick little backstory. My fiance's teeth aren't the greatest. He used to grind them badly in his sleep, so, really, they all needed to be pulled and he needs implants. He thinks for cosmetic purposes, but I love him regardless. I support whatever decision he makes as long as he's not doing it for me because I don't care. I do, however, care about the pain they cause him. But I digress. This past week, he has had this one tooth that has absolutely been killing him. It's to the point that he really can't drink anything, hot, cold, sweet, sour, no flavor, it doesn't matter, nor is he able to eat much of anything, not even mashed potatoes. Anything that touches the tooth causes him immense pain. It's also caused a migraine and the entire side of his face up to and including his ear to be extremely sensitive to the touch. Yesterday, I fell through a vent in my bathroom floor and my right leg went all the way down to my knee. This is important to the story. I have very deep cuts from the metal inside the vent hole on my knee, my calf, my ankle, and my foot. The entire inside of my right leg is black and blue and hurts terribly to touch or even put on clothes. Last night, my fiance called an emergency dentist in the area and made an appointment for this morning. We knew it was going to be an extraction, and they run $400 to $700, including exam and x-ray, here for someone without insurance or not accepted insurance. So we asked them if they took his dental insurance, and they confirmed they did. Perfect. This morning we get up and head down to the emergency office for his appointment. We get there and the receptionist isn't there at the window, but there's a very frazzled dentist present who is trying to answer the phone and handle the patients at the window, while the receptionist was off receptioning or whatever else duties she has. I told the dentist that I was there with him to drive, but would be out in the car waiting because of what happened yesterday and I was in a lot of pain. The dentist asks us for his insurance card, hands us a little clipboard, and off we go to fill out 5,000 pages of information. I begin to fill out the forms for him, only because he's holding his face, in tears, in pain. When a sharp pain suddenly radiates from my ankle to my knee, I drop my purse and it hit my calf. I gasp, grimace, and bite my lip to keep from screaming. At some point, the receptionist came back, ran his insurance, and it was at this moment she looks over to us, and here is the interaction. Receptionist: Ma'am, I know you're mad, but... Me looks over to her in confusion, but still grimacing because I'm in pain. What? I'm not mad. Well, you look mad, and you're gonna be mad. What? Why am I gonna be mad? I'm not angry. I'm in pain. She actually rolls her damn eyes. We're new here, and our owners are on the West Coast, so all of the insurance they accept from insert dental insurance company is on their coast. They only accept California, Arizona, Nevada, Washington, and Georgia. They don't accept insurance company of South Carolina yet. At this point, I'm just staring at her. My face is a mixture of all emotions at this point. Pain, confusion, disbelief. Ma'am, you said Georgia. Georgia is not on the West Coast. Can you please check again just to make sure they don't cover South Carolina? The receptionist sighs loudly. I just checked and I know what it says. I'm just doing my job. I know your tooth hurts, but you were already mad when I told you they didn't accept your insurance. First, I'm not your patient. My tooth is not hurting. I already told you I wasn't mad, but I was in pain. You said that they only covered 5 states and they're on the West Coast. Georgia isn't on the West Coast, and so I just wanted you to check and see if maybe you missed it. Well, I didn't, and they don't. You have to pay out of pocket if you want help today. $95 for the exam and x-rays, $4 to $6 for the extraction. You have to pay it up front. How do you want to pay? Suddenly, my fiance steps up. Arlick, the fiance. Ma'am, I'm the patient, not the Beatty Bunch. Whatever that means. Sorry, I'm supposed to hold my comments. You haven't addressed me once, even though you see my name on the insurance, the paperwork, the appointment, and the fact that I'm sitting right here. It's ridiculous that you won't check one more time, and also ridiculous that you expect me to pay you $700 when the procedure may not be that much. Receptionist cuts him off, holds up her hand while dropping her voice bit. Sir, if you expect us to help us, that's what you'll pay. Your fiancé is the one that's been speaking to me, so I didn't think I had to speak to you. I'm trying to do my job, but I always have to take the brunt of anything when I have to give bad news. If If you don't want to pay out of pocket, you can go to another dentist and not be seen here. Those are your options. So I stand up, hold my hand up this time, cutting off her tirade because she was taking another breath to start again. First, you need to remove the bass from your voice. We've not been rude to you, raised our voices to you, or treated you badly for just doing your job. You've not done your job today. You've been condescending, rude, loud, and not the least bit helpful. We'll go to another dentist and pay them out of pocket if we have to. You work with the public in the healthcare industry. You should know that people are going to be in pain when they come in here, and your first inclination should not be to assume that they are already mad at you and are going to treat you badly. You seem to be looking for an altercation. This is ridiculous. You're ridiculous. And with that, we turn to leave. Mind you, the entire time, the dentist is standing behind the wet receptionist, waving her hands back and forth in front of her and shaking her hand, basically saying, just ignore her. As we were leaving, I could see the dentist turn to the receptionist and begin talking to her. I'm not sure what was said, but hopefully she explains to her how she needs to treat people, especially those that are not there to berate her and treat her badly, but to get help. Am I the bunghole for snapping back at the receptionist? Well, let's unpack. First off, you didn't snap back. You snapped. There's a clear difference in that. Now, we're going to go through this real quick. All right. So, first off, you felt the need to tell everybody that you posted on another forum, which, okay, you're already attention-seeking something. But the backstory was about you. Like, it's marginally about your fiancé and his teeth, but it's really about you because this right here is a lie. I support whatever decision he makes as long as he's not doing it for me because I don't care. That's a lie. You do care. You care very much about both what his teeth look like, and I will grant that you probably care that it hurts him. But you do care. It is very much your business because that is your priority in this statement. And then this last week, he got something hurt. You go into a whole explanation of everything hurts. Why do you need that justification? All you need is his teeth hurt. He got an infection. There was an abscess. You didn't need all of this. But again, you're seeking attention. Then you fell through the vent, which can be a problem. I absolutely understand that. And if you are hurt that bad, then you probably should not have been the one to take him to the dentist. As far as they called the dental insurance, they looked at it and said, we're going to use random insurance company, Shelter Insurance, right? Shelter, I don't know if they have anything. This is not theirs. It's just a word, so it makes it easier. So you've got Shelter Insurance, and you call and you're like, hey, I've got Shelter Insurance. And the night receptionist or whoever answers says, yep, we take it. No problem. But when you get there the next day, the person who actually knows what they're doing with the actual insurance tells you, hey, this doesn't cover here. Sorry, I understand that it's going to be a problem. And you fly off the fucking handle because you're hurt. It's about you and your hurt. It's not even about your fiance's hurt. Right? Now, he's in pain. I absolutely understand pain. I got jacked up teeth. So when somebody tells you that they understand teeth pain, I'm the one. I'm missing these because they all had to get pulled. And the ones in the front are broken. And there's a long story behind that. But I've got broken teeth. I've got cavities. I got holes. I got bad tooth problems. So I absolutely understand tooth pain. And I absolutely need to understand you need somebody to drive you there. Call somebody else. If you're in that much pain that you can't be civil, you don't need to be there. If you can't be civil, and I say this, and you're not going to believe it, but I live in more pain than most people can stand. Most days I hurt bad enough that most people would probably take their head off. That is absolute truth. I wake up hurting more than most people ever feel in their life. And I walk through it every single day. And you will not catch me flying off the handle at a receptionist because she's doing her job. And that's like every day. And on bad days, it's even worse than that. There are days where I can't hardly breathe. There are days when I can't hardly walk. There are days when I can't hardly go to the bathroom by myself because it just hurts that damn bad. And that's real shit. But you won't catch me doing this because this lady came up here to do her job. Her job was to check and see if your insurance would be accepted. It's not. And so she makes a mistake in geography and you jump on it because That's something you can fix on. That's something you can dig her with, right? Because you're feeling a certain way because you thought that it was going to be covered by the insurance, and then it turns out that it's not. And that's a misunderstanding, and that's a problem, and I absolutely understand that. But your handling of that is not. Now, I don't know what this receptionist had going on while she wasn't there whenever you showed up, when you think that she should have been there. Obviously, the dentist didn't have a problem with it, but you do. You've got a problem that she wasn't sitting there. You have a problem that she wasn't doing what you think she should be doing. And you think that you wasted your time because the dentist thought that the insurance would get taken because he doesn't deal with insurance, right? Somebody bought his company that he works for from the other coast, and they don't take your insurance. But the name on it is Shelter. And they take Shelter. They only take it for 5 states. And it just so happens that the state they've taken it in is not yours. So that's a problem. I understand you being upset with that. I do. But you don't get to snap at them. Even when it hurts. Even if you were the person in pain. Now, the fact that she knew you was mad was probably something that you said. I would almost guarantee that you were in there talking shit in the waiting room. Like, I can almost guarantee, and I hardly ever guarantee anything, but I can almost guarantee that you were sitting there complaining about the fact that she wasn't there to take your information, that it was taking so long. Why aren't we seeing somebody? Why isn't there any x-rays being done? Oh my leg hurts. I guarantee that you were sitting there bitching about something, because that's what you do. You sit there and bitch about things all day long. I know 10 million people like you. And that's not literal. Don't take it literal. But some people are not happy unless they're upset. And you just happen to be one of those people who are not happy unless they're upset. It is plainly obvious in this. Now, another thing. She tells you here, she actually rolls her damn eyes. That's you. That's you. That's you. You're having a problem, right? Yes, this whole thing right here, I very, very, very hard to believe that this woman comes off of you with no provocation whatsoever and begins the conversation with, "Ma'am, I know you're mad, but..." And there's just absolutely no reason to believe it. Like, I don't believe that. That is not what any receptionist does ever. Like, even a bad receptionist is not going to start off, "Ma'am, I know you're mad, but..." I got a feeling there was more to this story than that. And then this is you attention seeking, right? This whole from here to here, that's you attention seeking. Now, you told her, "I'm in pain," right here. And so far as we know, she hasn't taken your information. She hasn't talked to you. She doesn't know that you're not the patient. But you're telling her that you're in pain. You're in there complaining about being in pain. So she assumes that the person in the dentist's office complaining about being in pain is going to be the person who's there to see the dentist. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. Well, I mean, there's a little bit wrong with the fact that she doesn't know Georgia's not on the West Coast. It is on the A coast, so I guess she gets quarter credit anyway. But people make mistakes like that, and it's not that big of a deal. But the fact that you were like, "Ma'am, you said Georgia. That is you again. You're being the bunghole again. Right there, that's you saying, 'I'm being a bunghole.' That's you screaming, 'Hey, look at me. I'm a bunghole.' That's what that is right there." And then this next part, she's like, "Okay, I just checked." She lives in South Carolina. She works in South Carolina. I'm pretty sure she can recognize the letters SC. So maybe when she says that they only cover 5 states and she lists 5 states and your state's not one of the 5 states, then maybe you're not part of the 5 states that are covered there, buddy. And so you don't get to be a dickhead about that. It's not her fault that your insurance sucks. It's not her fault that the people who are taking the insurance won't take yours. That is not on the receptionist. Don't be the asshole to the bunghole to the receptionist. She says, "I just checked. I know my job and I know your tooth hurts." She's trying to be considerate. And then you're like, "First off, I'm not your patient." How does she know that? Did you tell her that your guy here, who's not said anything, is the patient, you have it. Well, so she's like, okay, whatever. And you're again with the 5 states, and Georgia isn't on the West Coast. That's you being a bunghole. That whole section is you being a bunghole. And then it says, well, they don't. So if you want to be seen today, here's what needs to happen. She's offering you a solution to the present problem. Either you can pay for it out of pocket, or you can take your time to go find somebody who will accept your insurance. And then your man stands up here and he says, oh, ma'am, I'm the president, not the Beatty Bunch. The what? The Brady Bunch, maybe? The Beatty Bunch. What are you beating, bruh? Like, and you haven't addressed me once because she doesn't know you. You didn't go up there and fill out the paperwork. Your girl did. And you didn't go up there and talk to her about you being in pain. Your girl did. So she's thinking your girl's the one in pain. That is a perfectly logical assumption. So, bunghole here too. Even though you see my name on the insurance, does she know your name? Did you tell her that I am Arlen? Arlick? No, nobody bothered with that. You expected her to know that. Maybe she didn't read to the M and the F. Maybe she didn't get that far. She saw the name, she saw the insurance, and maybe she doesn't care what your genitalia is. A lot of people don't. It doesn't really matter. What they do is like, Arlick, and you stand up. They're like, okay, let's go. They don't care what your name is. They're not going to remember your name. Even 15 minutes after you leave, they forget who you are. They see hundreds of people a day that are coming in there for the same problem that you got. And you expect special. You're not going to get special. You're going to get efficient treatment. She tried to do her job. Cuts him off and dropping her voice. I'm sure that he kept his voice perfectly level and perfectly flat and didn't raise it towards her at all. I am sure that that is exactly what happened. I am sure that there was no that came out of that at all, because that doesn't happen. Nobody gets mad when they find out that they got to pay $700 for something they thought insurance was going to cover. Nobody gets mad about that. And then you stand up and hold up your hand because you want the attention again, right? Your boyfriend or fiance took it from you for a minute right here, but not for long. The rest of it's all you again, right? And again, she cuts him off. That may be rude, but he was probably launching into a tirade. And she's like, if you expect us to help you, you got to pay the bill. And they don't have to extend you credit. This is not an emergent medical situation. You are not entitled to care. If it was an emergent medical situation, you would have to go to the emergency room to be entitled to care. Even in South Carolina, like it's a federal law that if you go to an emergency room with emergent care, they have to treat you whether or not you can pay. But that is not the case at any private person, any private business, anywhere else. They don't have to treat you if you walk up to the doctor's office. They don't. They can refuse you service. If you're being a bunghole, they can tell you not to come back. They can tell you we're not going to do whatever. They have the right to do that. It is non-emergent. Your life is not going to end. If they do not see you now, they don't have to treat you. They do not have to extend you credit and say, well, we'll bill you later. Because chances are you aren't paying that bill. But you were ready from the jump to get off and be mad. And this, you're not doing your job. You don't know that. It appears to me from what you have said in your own rant that she was doing her job. That she was at least trying to do her job in the best manner possible. And this whole, you need to remove the bass from your voice. I'm going to give you probably the best piece of advice you're ever going to get in your life. You need to drop that. Because I can guarantee you that there are a couple of people out here in the world that if you would have said that sentence right there, they'd have slapped your teeth out in the dentist office. And you see me looking at it, because I can tell you right now, you might not want to come crossways with some people. Like, she may value her job more than your teeth, but she may value your teeth more than her job. And you need to keep that in your mind. This entitlement that these people walk around with, and I don't know the first thing about this woman other than what she said, right? But this is entitlement, entitlement, entitlement. I am entitled to your service. I am entitled to your courtesy. I am entitled to you dropping whatever it is you got going on and dealing with me. That is you. You probably walked in there and there was nobody behind the desk, and so you were like, can somebody help me? I can almost guarantee it, because that's just who you are. I can see it in the way that you write this. Now, mind you, the entire time the dentist is standing behind her, waving her hands at her back and shaking her head. I don't know the full situation here, but if this receptionist was such a problem, they would probably get rid of the receptionist. Now, that's not a guarantee, because I quit going to a doctor's office behind a receptionist, and sometimes they can be. Like, they had a receptionist at the doctor's office, like, literally made fun of my trauma. So I don't go back. But because they weren't going to get rid of her. And if they're not going to get rid of her, they didn't want my business. But I didn't berate her. Like, she literally made fun of me getting raped as a child. Like, literally. Laughed at it. And I didn't berate her. I didn't, like, throw shit or get mad or raise my voice. I just told them I'm not coming back. And I found another doctor. And I'm not going back. And I will tell anybody that goes to that office. I will. Anybody that asks me about that office, I'm going to tell them. But I'm not going to go and raise a fuss. What's the good that going to do? What good is it going to do to get mad at this girl? Like, and I say that knowing full well I would have slapped your teeth out for that bass in your voice thing. Like, for real. Like, after this woman has tried several times to be reasonable with you, and you escalated the situation several times, if you'd have come at me with that bass in your voice, we'd have had a serious problem, male or female. Bet money. And that's where I'm going to wrap that up. You need to learn how you talk to people. You need to watch out, because no matter whether or not you're in pain, no matter whether or not your loved one is in pain, no matter whether or not anyone's in pain, you don't have a right to talk to someone that way. You don't. Now, if you get corrected for talking to someone that way, you're going to want to press charges. And you'll probably get away with it, but you got exactly what was deserved. You got exactly what you had coming to you. Keep that in mind. Hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion to a not too difficult topic. Like, you can read through that, and like, if you can post that and not see, I don't understand how your mental process can be. Like, if you can't see in this that you're the problem, you got a bigger problem. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Till next time, I love you. You're perfect, whole, and complete, just the way that you are. And this has been Pittstake. Peace.